Hey guys, welcome to Trauma, Drama, and Life. I'm your host, Ben Taylor.
And I'm your host, Kayla Taylor.
And so we're just jumping on. We had a couple things we wanted to be able to talk about and just be able to wrap up a little bit of season 2. It was one thing that we weren't sure how long we were actually going to do, but we've got a lot of different things planned coming up this summer. We've got some trips and different things that we've been working on, investing into ourselves and investing into the relationship that we're trying to be able to continue to foster and grow.
And our family.
Yeah, in our family. So that's been like a big piece of everything that's been going on. So just as FYI, this is going to be last episode, at least for season 2. And we'll kind of reevaluate going towards the end of the year as far as talking about. We mentioned a couple topics as far as like parenting, family, kids, raising kids, all that kind of stuff. Would be some of the stuff that we've
talk about in season 3.
Yeah, talked about that.
So that'll probably be coming in the fall, late fall, early fall, late fall. Depends on just after our trips and all of life.
But anyway, so it's important for you guys to be investing in on yourselves. Like wherever you are in life, I think like a big piece is actually like self-care, like working on yourself, whether that's daily journaling, whether that's working on like meditation daily, whether that's working out daily. Like it's how are you actually like investing into you? For us, there's been lots of stages in life that I feel like we've both gone through that has had different types of like self-care, of different types of investment in the moment. And I think that's one of the things that normally gets thrown away, like one of the fastest, is one of the things that I didn't care about. It's one of the things that you didn't have time to care about, know, when you're in like a toxic relationship or when you're in just like the business of life is one of the first things that people normally just like throw out, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's like it's too hard. It's not easy. It's not something that I have time for. And oftentimes I can tell, like whenever I'm talking to someone, I'm like, hey, what about like self-care? Like, what are you actually doing for you? And they're like, well, I do this. And I'm like, how often do you do it? Like, is it actually like on your schedule? Is it actually something that you take time to do on a day-to-day basis? And when it's not something you actually like follow through. So one of the things that helped you a lot, like kind of like in relationship, getting out of relationship, and your like self-care, I think you mentioned was like working out, right?
Yeah, now it's just become more like a daily thing, almost like a habit now versus like a self-care. But I can definitely tell if I don't work out, then my mental health is more like crap that day, to say the least. Right. I mean, except for unless like for instance, Sundays I take like a full day of rest, and like I already know ahead of time that that's going to be like my official like rest day. And then Saturdays are typically I'll do some type of like stretching, so I still move my body, but it's still like an active rest day. But those 2 days I already know that I am going into it with the mindset of I'm not going to work out. And so then normally my mind is more like, well, I get to rest. Like I actually get to physically rest. Like if I want to take a nap, I'll take a nap or do whatever. Or a lot of times on Saturdays, like we'll go out either shopping or we'll go walk around our neighborhood or something like that. So I'm still getting active, some type of activity in. But especially when things were like really bad between us, that was one thing that definitely helped me, was just starting to work out. I was super athletic in high school, middle school and high school. I played volleyball, and then going into college, like I just kind of tapered off. And I tried to pick it back up here and there, and I would go to the gym. And then because I had postpartum anxiety, I didn't even want to leave Sophia alone with him. And so it took a really long time for me to even step back into the gym. And then the pandemic happened, and then I was forced to start doing workouts at home. And now we like have our own home gym. I follow like actual specific video programs, things like that. So it's just definitely helped to have like a routine. And now I don't have to worry about, like, for me, it's easy now because it's like I work out at home. So I don't have to worry about a commute to and from the gym. I don't have to worry about anything. Like I get up, I like get my pre-workout and then hit the gym basically. And so that's like my morning routine. And then after that I go into doing my devotions and like spending time like with the Lord, and then I start taking care of myself and then getting Sophia up, and then we have breakfast and things like that. So it's just started to become like more of a routine now, but it's still small little self-cares that I've realized that actually help me throughout the day, because if I don't do it, then I'm like in this funk, because I'm like, this is like throwing off my entire day because now it's part of my routine. So now I'm thrown off all of this stuff. I mean, I even like work out on vacation, and Ben's like, we're on vacation, you don't really need to work out. And I'm like, well, it's part of my routine.
I've started doing that
But
too.
now you've started. Now that he's started this year. I mean, before you started working out.
Before I started working out. Last year I didn't, I'd
Yeah,
always
last
make
year
fun
you're
of
like,
why are you working out?
Yeah, we're on vacation.
Now we go on vacation. I still wake up early to get my stuff done in the morning because
and now he understands it.
Right, because now I have a routine. Part of it does include working out and activating that part of my body as well, but also what I'm actually doing on a day-to-day basis of meditation, of stacking, journaling, working through the stories in my head to try to get back to reality or try to make sure I'm grounding myself every single day. And it's something that I've realized over a period of time actually helps me to stay grounded, to be able to be less stressed on a day-to-day basis, to be able to process life in one sense, so that I'm not just being reactive to life, but I'm actually being purposeful. This is who I am, this is how I want to live, this is the person I want to be, versus letting life just do whatever and me just reacting to it or lashing out when life didn't do what I wanted it to do.
Right.
So it always has its challenges, but I think the big piece is the commitment of I'm going to keep doing it, one, no matter what, and then I'm going to keep doing it no matter what. And one of the things that for me transition some with self-care is I get up at the same time every single morning, every single day. And that was something that took me a while to actually get to because I was like, oh, I should be able to rest on the weekends. And then on the weekends, I would feel like crap. I would feel awful because I wasn't actually keeping some semblance of my routine. And my routine's way different on Sunday especially. But I still have a routine in the morning.
Yeah.
And it helps a lot because otherwise I found myself, I'd get to the place where I'd be stressed. And I'd be going through the day thinking of well, I have to get this done. I'm behind on this, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's been a big mental shift. It's just the self-care and focusing on that, I think.
Yeah. So if you're hearing that we thrive off of routines, we thrive off of structure. He's very much more structured than I am. And then I'm I like a structure, but then the in-between can kind of be shifted. But that's how we thrive for self-care. So that you may not thrive on routines, and that's totally different. But if you're someone who does thrive on routines, then that's simple self-care that you can start doing. Besides self-care doesn't have to be that you have to go out and shop for yourself every single week, or it doesn't have to be something like that. I still do that. I love going to Target alone and walking with Starbucks and roaming around having Target tell me what I need to buy. Right. But at the end of the day, that can be a form of self-care, but then also just daily habits and routines for yourself could be a form of self-care. And I think that that's something that we have both learned more specifically within the last year and more honing in and focusing on it since we moved here because our routines got a little shifted when we were moving. But I think at the end of the day, that's something that we both thrive off of, and just taking time for yourself and trying he gets up in the mornings and he does all of his stuff, but my time to in the mornings we work out together, and then I have my devotional time, and then I hit the ground running. So my time to have decompressing time is more either in the evenings or during Sophia's rest. I used to always be doing things during Sophia's rest, always. And then I was depleting myself. And then I realized, why am I doing that? If there's something that I need to do, if I need to edit a video or something for YouTube or whatever it may be, then I'll do it. But I also try to do it during the day when I'm homeschooling Sophia. I'll put something in front of her and be hey, this is the instructions, do this or paint this, and if she needs something, she's right there with me. But then during her rest time, I'll go out and I'll just sit in the sun, alternate sitting in the sun over an hour for 10 minutes, come back in 10 minutes, and if I want to take a nap, take a nap. So today I was tired, so he I took a 10-minute nap, and he walked in and he was are you ready to record the podcast? I'm yeah, let's go. But just things like that. So if you have that, and I know not everybody is blessed to be a stay-at-home mom, or not everybody is blessed to be able to do what we do, but you can still figure out ways to create little times and space for you to take care of yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's essential to do, and for everybody it looks different stages of your life. So like for us, like we've mentioned like on previous podcasts, like one of the things we do to self-care our relationship is like go on a date night every week, you know. And then one of the things we've been doing like recently is trying to make sure that like whether like I have time, whether she has time, like trying to make sure that there's like intentional time throughout the week where we can actually invest in self-care, like in ourselves. So like making sure that like you can go out and you can go do stuff like that you're not like trapped in the house with, you know, Sophia 24/7 kind of thing.
Right.
But
like
being able to put those things.
You basically lovingly forced me out of the house this month to go get my nails done.
Right. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, like you need other interaction, you know, than just Sophia. But I mean, all that's in like different stages and different pieces of like our growth of like, that was one of the things that's like, oh, this is something we need. Like, let's go ahead and put this like on the calendar.
Right.
To
because before,
help.
Whenever we were like, when our relationship was super toxic, my form of self-care was getting up early before Sophia woke up and doing my workout. Like in that moment, like that wasn't a daily habit that I did. It was just, I woke up and this is what I did. And so it was just something that I looked forward to every single morning. And so it then just became a habit because it just helps me to be able to be more focused and alert throughout the day.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna vary from each season to season. But I think that prioritizing, like being able to take time for yourself is healthy. I mean, it can become an obsession, and then that's a whole different subject. But like in day-to-day like time, like you do need to focus. You need to step back from, you know, work, especially if people work corporate jobs or if they're working like really long weeks. Like you need to be able to put like care back into yourself to be able to continue to do the job or the things that you are meant to do.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, I mean, hopefully just going through some of this, you're able to take some tips or tricks or different ideas, or maybe just brings up the question of like, are you actually doing any type of self-care? Are you investing in you, or is it all about the agenda of others that kind of has you running your life? Like, are you able to actually focus on some of those things? Because our goal is to try to be able to help inspire and help other people like move forward in the direction that they want to go. So, like I mentioned kind of at the beginning, like we're wrapping up like season 2 with Trauma, Drama, and Life.
Yep.
I feel like we've had some good responses from a lot of you. So thank you guys so much for just your support and all the questions, things you guys have sent in. Feel free to keep sending those. We'll just keep a giant list. So if we start this back up, then in the fall, we can be able to tackle any other people's questions and kind of jump from there.
Or maybe late summer. It really just depends on
life.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of life that's been happening and going on. So we're trying to make some transitions and work on a couple things out so we can be able to figure out like how best to be able to keep serving and how best to keep helping influence and, you know, lead other people as well.
Yeah.
So
I think if the biggest thing is like if you guys have a topic that you want us to talk about in next season, obviously just
send us an email. So ben@rawmotivations.com or send like a message over like Instagram. It's gonna be the easiest way for me to catalog it and make sure that we actually talk about it next time. So,
and if you enjoy seeing us talk or interact, then you can always follow my YouTube because I do family vlogs and things like that. But
what's your YouTube name?
Kayla Taylor 92. Yeah, Kayla Taylor.
It'll be linked underneath the episode just in case.
He can link it underneath the episode and
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. Appreciate all the support and all the love and all the responses that we've got over the past 2 seasons, and we will see you guys later.
Bye, guys.